I hope I am very loud and clear.
Yes, you are.
It is my, oh, thank you very much. Thank you for the confirmation. So my name is Ronnie Mbaisa. I am the director of Zimbabwe Sunshine Group, which is also an waste management enterprise. Basically, what we did was we started as a social business, but currently now we are running as a commercial entity with the help that we got from good leadership and guidance from Mr. Fungai. And we can say that currently we are in a very good position to say our business is running very well and very smoothly. So what do we do at ZSG? We do waste management. That's our line of business. And for the past 6 to 8 months, we have been trying a number of new initiatives that are very green and initiative that have actually made us realize that we can make more money, but at the same time doing justice to the environment. So my presentation today I've decided to scenario that we intend to incorporate from stage, but I think this presentation will actually make someone understand that there are opportunities that can be realized in integrated solid waste management, and there is quite a number of economic offsprings that can be realized environment, and also at the same time trying to make sure that the business is 100% green, although it is very difficult to reach the 100% mark, but I'm sure that we can do it if we follow the simple footsteps. So today I'm going to present a simple one scenario business model that we intend to do, and at the end of the day, then just explain how we are also trying to green our operations as ZSG. So I'll go to the second slide, which is what I'm going to present on is the definition of a drive-in drop-off waste transfer station. Then a drive-in drop-off model that we intend to do. Then the benefits to the community of this model. Then the benefits to the donor, the supporters, the financiers, and also I'll just look at the conclusion. So basically, the first thing is I'm going to just throw a question. What is a drive-in drop-off waste transfer station? A drive-in drop-off waste transfer station are industrial facilities where community members, public and private companies drive in and drop off their waste in demarcated waste storage facilities. You can even walk in and waste or drop off your waste that you might have. For at the drive-in drop-off center, we are talking of a green initiative, an initiative that is in some financial or economic benefits to an enterprise. So so at the driving drop-off facility, we have waste received from community, waste received from public, waste received from private, that would be your private sector or whatever. Then the second scenario will be on the waste. Waste is dropped in a demarcated sorting bay. Fee of for sustainability and maintenance of the transfer station or a driving drop that you are adjusting. It might be a fee for those who are driving in, those who are coming with their waste to your waste transfer facility. We have seen it happening here at the agricultural show where we are based, where other people who come in and drop off their waste, they will pay a reasonable fee. Others, they actually give donations to the service that we will be providing. So basically, that's an economic offspring that can come out of this facility. Then the area is full sorting bay to be. So what then happens is that the material will be sorted, and after sorted, they then send to your waste transfer facility that you might have, especially if you have a transfer station or you have companies that actually buy the materials that you'll be sorting at the driving drop-off center. Right. So an example of a, I'm sure you can see the picture and the diagram of a scenario of a waste transfer station. So basically, if you look at the yellow lines, they indicate the premise. So one in this facility, then the truck. So there are two scenarios. So as you can see, this scenario is also very environmental friendly and very clean. The second scenario is a bus stop scenario, kind of, where you can just construct a simple structure like this, where just by the middle, just beside a road, it might be a main road or an avenue. So what then happens is that when a truck, when vehicles are driving off to where they'll be going, they can just, but we encourage people to drop off sorted materials. That's why you see these bins where we have got metal, paper, glass, plastic, electronic waste, and so forth and so on. So this is another scenario that an enterprise can do as a cash cow scenario. For a vehicle to drop off their material, they can also pay a small fee for them to drop off their material. Or you can have a loyal card. They can just tap and go, like what we are now doing currently with the Zupco scenario, where you can tap and go. So what you then do is allow people to load their money in the cards that you provide, and then every time when they come and drop off their material, they tap and drop off materials. The community empowerment, reduce rate of community unemployment, because these driving drop-off center, automatically they will employ a number of people. Number one, you're talking of people who then further separate the materials when they come to the facility. Then the second one, which is the people who come and collect the material to the transfer to the recyclers. Then the third one, which is maybe a system that you'll be using for the tape card or whatever. Then the second benefit is improved aesthetic value. This is the value that is found by minimizing the rate of illegal dump site. With this type of a drive-in drop-off facility, a number of legal dump sites in your community would actually reduce because they have another option to dump their materials at. So it's a very good intervention in your community, and it's also a benefit. Then reduce diseases outbreak in your community because there is no more dump sites that is in your community. Then an opportunity to recover recyclable items and take them out for the waste from the waste streams. So what then happens is that when you are running an opportunity, there's an opportunity to get more recyclable materials because people will drive in with their materials already sorted. So there is an opportunity of getting more recyclable materials compared to looking for materials at a dump site. Then the next one is preventing hazardous waste from ending up at a landfill, which limits on the environment. We are talking of your hydrosphere, lithosphere, biosphere, and atmosphere in terms of the prevention of hazardous waste. So basically, that's another benefit from the community. Then migratory approach to climate change. Definitely, issues of climate change, you would have addressed them in this scenario of a business scenario. So in conclusion to this presentation, especially on the green business that an enterprise can venture into, is solid waste management requires a multi-sectoral engagement approach where every stakeholders contribute towards the implementation of integrated solid waste management system highlighted below. I think this is very simple. We know the waste management hierarchy where we prefer the simple scenario of minimization, reuse, recycling, energy recovery, and also final disposal. As you can see, final disposal is the least on this hierarchy level. So what we are saying is that as we are pushing our enterprises, especially when you're thinking of greening your enterprise, the issues are very simple, where you look at how best you can minimize the damage to the environment, but at the same time, making economic sense to the business that you are running. So basically, this scenario, case study scenario that I've given you, reflects the economic benefits. Because when you looking at economy, by just running this kind of business, especially, I can give you an example of Harare, the transfer station that we have at the showground. Currently, after the lockdown, we are having more than 60 or 70 vehicles coming in to drop off their waste. And the minimum fee that they are giving us per vehicle, it's about $1 US. So you then realize that on a normal day, we get something like $40 to $50 from the vehicles that are dropping off their materials. Then per day, we get something like 200 to 300 kgs of waste that will be coming in from the people who are driving in and people who are walking in with their waste to our transfer facility. And if you look, we sell at about 50 cents per kg. So then calculate it's about 90 to 100 kgs that you get at 50 cents, which means we get something like $50 again per day from the HDPE. Then we have PET bottle, which we sell at 5 cents to 10 cents. We also get money from there. So what we are saying is that there is some economic value that is in waste management that just needs to be tapped in. That just needs us to be organized. But at the same time, our environment that we are operating in, we have made sure that the environment is green. It's green how? If you look at the transport model that we use, before we got some trainings, we were using big trucks to collect our waste, but now we are now using small vehicles that consume less energy. I'm talking of fuel that actually use as good as zero. So to us, that's another greening method that we're using. Then if you look at the materials that come from the people who drive in and drop off their waste, we've got recyclable materials and biodegradable materials. So what do we do with biodegradable materials? We then do composts with those materials. And the compost that we are doing, we are actually doing some gardening, and we feed these gardens with the compost that we are producing. So at the end of the day, it's also green because we don't have any materials that are going to dump sites or to a landfill. So basically, that's what we are doing, and that's what we are encouraging other young companies and enterprise to also emulate and also do as they are running their different businesses, and also as they are also trying to improve what they are doing, especially in the area of waste management. So with that, I would want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to just share with you what we are doing and what we think can work, especially in Zimbabwe as we speak today. Thank you very much, Mr. Fungai, and everyone. I am open for any questions. Thank you.
Okay. No, thank you for that, Ronnie. Very insightful. Yeah, it's an exciting project that you guys are working on, and we'll certainly be gathering some of our waste to bring it to the showground. So,
Thank
Ronnie,
you very much.
yes. So just to take you back, so tell us the history of Zimbabwe Sunshine Group, when it started,
Okay,
and the journey so far.
the journey was not very easy. Zimbabwe Sunshine Group was founded by young people, myself, Cliff Chivanga, uh, who chose to dedicate themselves in waste management. If you look at my background, I didn't do anything on environment at college. I did theater and administration, and Cliff did project management, but it was not in waste management. But what happened was that when we were doing some activities as young people, we came up with an idea of doing cleanups. So when we were doing the cleanups in Avondale, in waterfalls, as fun, it was fun to us. Then about 3 to 4 months doing cleanups, we then came up with an idea of adopting First Street. We wanted to turn First Street into a green street. The idea came from the Harvard University, where young people had turned one of the streets at Harvard University into a green street. So we're trying to copy that. So we wrote to Harvard and say, we are young people from Zimbabwe. We've got an idea like your idea, where we want to adopt one of the colonial streets in Zimbabwe and turn it into a green street. Then they said, good. If you turn that street into a green street like what we have done here, we'll give you honorary degrees from Harvard University. Wow. To us, it was something else because we knew that Harvard degree, even if it's an honorary degree, it was something big. So we started pushing, talking to the city of Harare guys, approaching donors. We approached the JICA. Then the JICA said, we can fund the project. Go and talk to city of Harare to give you that street. And we talked to the city of Harare. We signed an MOU with them. Now the JICA said, we will now want to give you the money. So what we need is an MOA, which is a memorandum of agreement. We had an understanding, but now they needed an agreement so that we can put our first peak, we can at First Street to turn it into a green street. That's where we actually faced our stumbling block because City of Harare then said, no, if you want that, can your donor put the money in our account so that the project can go on? And you were saying, their argument was saying, you guys, you're still young and all that, you might not use the money in a proper way, you might misuse the money. But when we went back to the JICA, they said, no, 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 we want to fund you. So that was our stumbling block. But we said, we've invested more than 2 to 3 years in this waste management issue. Should we stop now? Then my other guys said, no, 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 let's keep pushing. Then we started pushing. Then we approached the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show Society, and they gave us a piece of area, which they said we have been dumping waste for the past 10 years at that area. So we are giving you a challenge. If you manage to recover all the materials, all the waste that you have been dumping in that area, we'll give you that piece of land. So it took us 1.5 years to dig all the recyclable materials from that big mountain, and we're sending the materials to the recyclers, and we're getting money. From that money that we're getting, that's the money that we're using for our transport, that's the money that we're using for our daily upkeep. So after 1.5 years, when the Agricultural Show Society guys saw that we had managed, then they said, now we're giving you that land for free. It now belongs to you. When we're given that land, we then approached the guys from German embassy. And the guys from German embassy then gave us funding to construct our first waste transfer station. That was actually a first institutional waste transfer station in Zimbabwe. So the ZAS guys, they were so excited that we had managed to raise the money to build the facility. Then they said, we are now giving you a contract. We will pay you on a month for the past thing, and you've been managing waste in the park. And from there, we also applied for the Green Enterprise. And from the money that we got from the Green Enterprise, we bought a 5-ton truck that we are now using for our door-to-door waste collection. And also from the support that we got from the Green Enterprise, especially the monetary prize. Yes, we might say it was the best was the managed from the mentorship, our issues of compliance, subscription to Zimbra. We are now registered with EMA, with City of Harare. So all our work is, we are now doing our work on a very, very legal manner. than what we are doing. Some of the things that we're doing before, they were actually illegal and we didn't know. But with the support that we got, if you come today to our work, look at our financial records, they are now in a good position. We are now able to produce even financial reports. We are also now able to plan, to do financial planning because of the mentorship that we got. Last but not least, on the mentorship that we got, we are now able to market and sell our products, the things that we are doing from the mentorship, because we didn't have any marketing strategy. But now, if I tell you the strategies that we are now using, the door-to-door waste collection was one of the strategies that we got. The issues of paying for people to pay for our service was something that we're not doing, but now we are doing. Thirdly, the issues of quantifying the materials that we get every day and try to come up with the best suitable business solution. We are now doing it and we are now running in a very, very good way. So basically, that's the background of where we are coming from and where we are today. Thank you very much.
No, excellent. What a journey you've just shared with us there, Ronnie. I can imagine the frustrations over the years, being told they are too young to handle that kind of money. And yet you've worked very hard to get to that stage. So yeah, I can imagine that it must have been quite discouraging, but I'm glad that you pursued the objective, didn't lose sight of the objective. So yeah, no, congratulations to you. So, I know you've also been working with a number of companies, assisting them in terms of waste management strategies, how to sort their waste, as well as collecting their waste or them delivering it to you. How should it work in terms from a waste management? We have a number of enterprises that are in different activities. Some are in the waste game as yourselves, but there are also others in solar, in farming, in production of other products. So what sort of system, or how is the waste recycling or sorting process supposed to work?
Thank you very much, Mr. Fungai. I think, like I said, before we didn't have a proper system, but now I can say we now have a clear system, which I think can also be adopted by other enterprises. Number one is to make sure that you have all your legal papers. When you have your legal papers, it is very easy to then approach different companies, because looking of maybe the licenses from EMA, yes, which are very, yeah. Hello. So we are talking of different licenses, but they are not very expensive to get. That's number one. Then number two, companies actually require our services, not only in Harare, but I know of quite a number of companies. You talk of Mutare, the guys from some last year in terms of their waste management strategies and all that, and also how best we can assist in terms of waste collection. But we are not in Mutare, and I believe that there are enterprises that are in Mutare, there are enterprises that are in Blawayo, Mashingo, and all that. We have quite a number of companies that must comply with their international standards. So what you need to know as an enterprise is to understand the different international standards that these companies have. And then when you're approaching them, you are approaching them with an understanding of the requirements that they must meet from their international companies like your Coca-Colas, your big companies. That's one. Then number two, when it comes to the strategy that we use, when we approach a company, we don't just go and start collecting their waste. We first train them. So when you're training them, you charge them for the training that you do. Then the second thing, when you're collecting waste, you then charge them for the collection. Then the third thing is you also derive benefit from the waste that you collect, because eventually you go and sell that material, or you recycle the material on your own. So these are the different scenarios that you find in companies. But I guarantee you and promise you that different companies that we have currently, they require our services as part of their sustainability. They require those ones, maybe, for instance, for their phone charging. And you can approach companies to say, okay, instead of you charging your phones with your conventional energy, we want to give you this simple solution for all your workers to charge their phones using solar. That's another area. That's some of the things that they require. But one of the things that you then do is to then quantify the amount of energy that they are saving from conventional energy when they use your solar. That's also what we do when we collect their waste. What is it that the different part between us and the local authority is that after collecting their waste, we then provide them with data of how much waste they are producing weekly, monthly, and even annual. So by just giving them that, they then start to trust you. They start to trust your service. So basically, those are some of the tips that we have in our waste management companies, and also how we can approach companies in a very good way. But I guarantee you, our
Hello.
yes, I think on that one I'm done.
Okay. No, excellent. Sorry, my network is dropping in and out. So yeah,
Okay,
okay.
okay.
No, that's quite interesting. Some insightful tips there in terms of engagement of companies. And one thing that I guess impresses me is the availability of data, because when there's data, it means it is quantified, it is monitored, and it can be controlled. And most importantly, it can be brought back down to dollars and cents, which is the language that everyone understands. But equally so, Ronnie, I've seen many companies attempt to implement waste management systems, and they seem for some to fail along the way. What are some of the reasons or insights you may have in terms of why they start off, and it's usually with much fanfare and excitement, but somewhere along the lines, they tend to drop off?
You mean the enterprises or different?
The
Hello.
enterprises themselves.
Ah, okay. Thank you very much. That's a good one. So what I realized is that when the enterprise is running, most of the time to rely on that waste. Why? Because there is a game. Definitely, uh, you lose a number of customers along the way. So, what do you need to do? Like I said, the most important thing is to have your financial planning correct, and try to narrow down all your revenue streams that you get from your waste management initiative that you'll be doing. For example, I can give you an example of ourselves. Where do we get our money from? Number one, training of institutions. We go down to even preschool. We go to preschools and train them on waste management. They actually pay us for doing that. Up to a highest level of a company that you might think of. We have done ZESA, we have done Astra Paints, we've done quite a number. We've done hotels, we have done government offices like your Ministry of Energy. We have trained them on waste management. So from trainings alone, you can get good money. Then after that, you go to the practical waste collection, you get your money. Then the last one, your recycling, your value addition, you get your money. Once the cash flow is balanced, there is no way that your organization or your enterprise can go down. But the only thing is when your revenue streams is limited, then you are prone to give up along the way because of your financial balance will not be as good as you would want it to be. So what I encourage you is to make sure that as you be running whatever that you be running, know the three principles, which is training, the collection and recycling. Same applies to solar. You can also do the training of solar because people they know that yes, you need to install solar, you need to do that, but they don't really understand what is it in the solar utilization. So one of the things that you can do is to train schools, train companies, train institutions on how solar works. I think that way you will start getting your financial balances equal. Thank you.
Okay. No, really interesting insights on there, and certainly some reputable entities that you've done training on. Without a doubt, cash flow is can be a killer, particularly to a small business that is starting out. Now, obviously, the green economy is a growing movement. It's obviously being driven by the need, not only at a country level, but at continental and at global level. But having said that, they obviously is competition, which is good. I guess good for some, bad for some. What's the environment like? How many players are there in Zimbabwe? How well established is this green economy?
Thank you very much. We have quite a number currently of different entities that are pushing the green economy agenda. Looking at number one, the issues of industrial symbiosis, and also looking at the circular economy. All that is actually a driver to a green economy. And what I've realized is that if you look at how the industry is now structuring itself, where different companies come together and form an entity that then runs or manage their waste on behalf of different companies that would have come up together. I can give you a scenario of the companies like Delta, Schweppes, Dairy Board, Tanganda, who came together to formulate Petrico Zimbabwe, right? And Petrico Zimbabwe is actually managing waste on behalf of those companies. They actually pulled a lot of money to do that. So with that scenario, this is what we are talking of when you talk of industrial clusters coming together and the industrial symbiosis. That's number one. Then the second one, which is the circular economy, because a number of manufacturers, a number of companies, and a number of entities that generates waste, they've actually realized that a number of materials that they call waste is no longer waste because they're actually raw materials for others. So where is the gap that needs to be filled? The gap is for us as different entity to understand now what material is required by company B that is being produced by company A, and be the middleman to make sure that the company B gets that material, and to make sure that the company A dispose the material to us. So when you do that, that circular economy will be achieved, right? Then by just doing that, we are promoting the green economy. Because we don't have any loss in the industry. Because yesteryear, when a company produces and they have their waste, the dump sites, and by doing that, they were losing a lot of revenue they benefit from their waste. But currently, that they actually produce. So this is a driver that the nation is also looking at, and that the nation is actually promoting. And our area of waste management, recycling, and energy, it's one of the areas that is mentioned in the national development strategy of this nation, which is your NDS1, that is being implemented by Zimbabwe up to 2025. And issues of waste management, they are clearly stated in that blueprint. So as an enterprise, you need to understand, you need to know that, so that when you're approaching these companies, when you're approaching the government departments, you approach them with an understanding of what the policy is saying when it comes to what? To green economy. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, very insightful. Thank you for that. So, and I understand, I've seen you do a lot of work with EMA and the different ministries, and some of the UN agencies. How is that going?
Thank you very much. We have a very, very, very good relationship with EMA, with Ministry of Environment, with Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Women Affairs. The important thing of having good relationship with these different entities is that at the end of the day, they are the policy barriers, because they're the ones who then make sure that the policy is being implemented correctly. So by you having a relationship with that, it means that you are closer to the policy. And with Emma, we've done quite a number of initiatives together. We are actually constructing a transfer station in Epworth. Almost finished. They've actually sponsored it. But the thing is that when you go to EMA, they will not sponsor you. But I've gone this mile, this, because they have policies that they need to achieve. For instance, EMA, they've got an integrated solid waste management strategy that they need to achieve by 2023. And if you know the pillars that are in that strategy, then you have because when you're approaching them, you approach them point. So that's it. That would be. When we started out, ILO, UNICEF, we volunteered to collect their waste for free in their premises, and they saw our consistency and they saw our passion in the work that we were doing. Then they said, can we partner? And we then started partnering with those entities. As we speak right now, for your own information, through our programs, because some of these things we did not go to school for us to implement these things, but we are learning as we go. And for your own information, currently we have a consultants work that we are doing for UNDP on waste management. They actually want to come up with a report on the current state of waste management in Zimbabwe. So they've given us a contract to conduct that survey. And next week, Monday, we'll be in Blawayo. Then the following day, we'll be in Gwanda. Then the following week, we'll be in Chipinge and Mutare. Those are the 4 areas that we will be doing our rapid survey on waste management. So this is how things work, and this is how you get to be known and to be trusted by these big entities by just doing what you're supposed to do. Thank you very much.
Okay. No, congratulations on your contract with the UN for the rapid survey. It goes to demonstrate that, you've come a long way. Obviously, starting off by doing volunteer waste collection and now partnering and working together. I guess it goes to show that you need to make some sacrifices along the way to establish relationships. And I guess those relationships really bring you quite close to the happenings in terms of the policy front, what Emma and the ministry will be advocating for. So no, that's really great, and congratulations to you. And beyond Zimbabwe, you've been involved within the SADC region, and I understand at international level as well. Any insights there?
Thank you very much. So when Swedish embassy visited us at the agricultural show grounds and saw what we were doing, they were so much interested, and they were so excited that at least there are Zimbabweans who are passionate about environment and who are also trying to make a living out of waste management. They actually fund us to travel to Sweden in 2017. So we went to Sweden for some trainings on waste management, fully funded. Then after that, we also went to Italy for some trainings, and I also had an opportunity to go to Germany and Finland for waste management studies. Those were just mini studies that we are going for. And through also the work that we have been doing at the showgrounds, we now have some footsteps in Zambia. We now have a Sunshine Group in Zambia. We have a Sunshine Group in Uganda. We have a Sunshine Group in Malawi, which is also now being funded by UNDP Malawi, that we're doing with them, and they approached the UNDP Malawi, and they are now funded by UNDP. And currently, we have a consultant work that we are doing on waste management as well. So this is what we are doing in the region. But sometimes, like I said, it's not a scenario of just saying we want millions or want a lot of money. Sometimes you sacrifice to do certain things, like the consultants work that we are doing in South Africa. They are not paying us a lot of money, but the idea just doing it outside your country, gives you hope for the future and where you are going as an enterprise. So sometimes there is need for an enterprise to say volunteer to do certain jobs and certain work in your community for others, and it will benefit you maybe in a long run. That's my take, and that's my thinking, because quite a number of things that we are now bragging about with, they didn't come as something that just comes, but it was through certain sacrifice, and also constant being educated by the professionals, by people who know it actually leads us to where we are today. Thank you.
Hmm. No, thank you for that, Ronnie. Certainly quite insightful. And it must be very exciting when you feature on the international stage. And I guess you also get the opportunity to compare, what others are doing at international level, and also what's taking place here in Zimbabwe. And I guess just to add on, you've obviously had a lot of exposure. You've been in the game for a very long time, and you've seen it evolve and grow. So with what you know, in your opinion, what do we need now for Zimbabwe? What do we need to do to progress? At what level do we need to get to, taking into account the exposure that you've had?
Okay, thank you very much. I think we are on the right track. We are on the right track, but I think we now need to be more involved than we were before. When I say more involved, what do I mean? What I mean is that we have policies in place as a nation. If you look at the policies that we have here in Zimbabwe, we are more than other countries. We have good policies that are good more than other countries, even in Europe. But where is the challenge? The challenge is in policy implementation. The government requires private sector to implement the policy. But because we, as the private sector, the enterprises, we don't know that. It is our duty and mandate to implement policies on their behalf. So what do we need to do? What we need to do is to lobby now the government, so that they, number one, put resources for us to implement policies on their behalf. We have a national determined contribution document, which is very good. And it has got a number of areas that needs to be achieved. One of the areas is to reduce the amount of emissions that we are producing as a country. How do we do that? We need different private sector who can help us in terms of quantifying the reduction of emissions in the work that they are doing, right? So that it can be included in the report that will be produced by the government. But because our work is not being recorded, there is nothing.
Okay.
That's
Okay. So
then number two, we have two the issues of waste management, recycling, speaks to that. And when we hear that there is money that has been put by the Swedish government or the British government or the US government to Zimbabwe for climate change, that money belongs to us, the enterprises. What do we need to do? What we need to do is to approach different departments and ask how best we can be given those contracts to implement different initiatives. I can tell you that as Sunshine, we are in the middle of coming up with an agreement with government where we want to implement one of the biggest projects in Zimbabwe. It is because we approached them. We did not limit ourselves to say, we don't have resources, so we cannot approach them. So we are saying that if you are in Mutare, go to Mutare local board, go and demand what you're supposed to do, what they are supposed to give you and what you're supposed to do. Definitely they will give you, if they know that you know what you are saying, you know what you want to do. So as a nation, we just need to be involved. We need to be innovative in terms of approaching those that have got the money that we need to implement certain things. Thank you.
Okay. So we need to be doers and not talkers. Taking initiative.
Yes.
Taking initiative and approaching those with the money and those with the authority. Okay, no, that's really interesting, and I guess it sheds light in terms of how you've managed to get as far as you have gone. So congratulations to you, and I'm sure it was no easy road. It takes a lot of patience and perseverance. So I've seen various aspects of the value chain, having worked with ZSG before. There are some obvious challenges within the sector, and one thing I'm particularly passionate about is safety and health. I think we touched on financial viability before for each business in terms of cash flow, buy-in and commitment from the community itself, because ultimately they are the revenue source, they are the customer or the end user of the service. What are some of the challenges you see in the waste industry, in the green economy sector, and what needs to be done to account or to address those challenges?
Thank you very much. I think lately the main challenge was financial support in the waste management sector. But with continuous education in all economic sphere that we have in the country, people are now starting to understand that waste management sector is actually a sector that requires support, even in terms of budgeting. As a nation, when we do the budget for the nation, there is need for a budget for waste management. And as a company, when you're doing your budget, there's need to do a budget for waste management. As a household, when you do your budgeting, you also need to budget for your waste management. So lately, it was a very, very big challenge, and but it's now starting to be appreciated. That's one. Then number two, the biggest challenge is on policy. You look at our local authority, our urban council acts in Zimbabwe. The number of those acts, because Harare has got its own act, Mutare its own act, and all that and all that. So in a number of acts that I managed to read through, they clearly state that all waste belong to the local authority. Private entity, you are then required to approach the local authority, and the local authority is the one which has got a say to say you can proceed or you cannot proceed. So this is one of the challenge in terms of policy that we have, and we need to be familiarize ourselves with the policy that governs the work that we're doing in in the area that you're operating in. I was just another challenge. Then the second challenge is on revenue. Like we said, that issues of financing our work. Sometimes you need to have a clear understanding of your finances, because one other area might be running loss and the other area will be getting a bigger profit. So there should be a balance. If this area is running loss, then the other area should actually balance to the other area. That's another challenge in terms of financial literacy in a number of entities that we have. Then the other challenge that I've also realized is on the technology, the ICTs and technology utilization in waste management. Quite a number of entities, even ourselves, we are not yet there in terms of understanding how to strengthen our work, but using technology. For instance, the meeting that we are doing where we are using Zoom, how then best can we how can we initiate our work so that it can also be implemented using the new technologies that we have. Then the other area is uh, the costs of equipment that we use. For instance, if you want to purchase a baling machine, an H20 baling machine is costing something like 20,000 US dollars. So that's a lot of money and a lot of investment that is required for you to have that gadget. And number two, if you want to further recycle your material, like I gave you a scenario of Petrico, the machine at Petrico costed about 1.2 million. So
Wow.
when you look at also that, it's a big challenge. Only if you get companies like what they did, the Delta and others did, then that's better. Then when it comes to occupational health and safety, I think Funga, you are aware of our scenario before the mentorship program. Issues of safety were not in our programming or in our planning. But as we speak now, issues of occupational safety is one of the key areas, because if you don't have injuries at work, you are guaranteed that your business is running smoothly. If you don't have anyone who's sick at work, you are guaranteed of a good production at the end of the day. So issues of safety is also another area that we are looking at. And on top of that, we have, because of quite a number of workers that we have with us at Zimbabwe Sunshine Group. So one of the areas that we were looking at after our program of mentorship was also the issues to do with insurance, where people need to also insure themselves. How have we started that? Number one, we have managed to register everyone on medical aid. Then the second one is we have approached the NASA so that anyone can also start redeeming or paying for their pension levy. So we are saying that after some years of working in this waste management sector, there will become a time when you need to retire. But because lately our work was not formal, so we didn't have, people were just people then struggle after when they are 50 or 60 years. But we are saying that if they start remitting the pension levy, they are guaranteed that after they retire, they'll get that money back. And one thing that I want also the enterprises to know is that in the world, the biggest industry currently is the food industry. Then the second one is waste management industry. And it is believed that in a few years to come, the waste management sector will be the biggest industry to surpass the food industry. So there is need for us to really our work and also to be innovative so that we will remain in the game. So basically, that's what I can say, Chief.
No, thank you for that, Ronnie. Very insightful. Quite a number of challenges that obviously exist in the sector. Congratulations on the progress that you've made and following up in terms of formalization of the waste sector. That's taking responsibility and ownership for the industry. So congratulations to you for that. Now, and another challenge that, I guess we've all faced, not just here, but at a global level. COVID-19 has obviously changed the way we live our lives, the way we do business. And it's obviously had, an impact on business. What did that do for ZSG?
Obviously, like any other enterprises across the globe, we felt the pressure, the heat of COVID-19, but it also gave us a chance to reflect back on our work, and also it also helped us to do what we call forward thinking, not to just think of what you're doing today, but also to look at the future and plan for the future, because COVID came to us unaware. It didn't give a notice to say, I'm coming. One thing that as an organization, as an enterprise, we did was to try to strengthen our operations, especially in the digital world. We started operating using the digital platforms. All our waste collections, they were based on request and scheduling. Before, we didn't know how to schedule our collections. It was just a random collection. But because of COVID, we then started scheduling. People would call and say, I need my waste to be collected. Then you say, okay, that's fine. Your waste to be collected in 3 days' time. Then a person will know that, okay, in 3 days' time, my waste will be collected. So it helps us to be part of this new digital world, which is the the trending way of doing business. That's number one. Then number two, it also helped us to make sure that we analyze our operation and try to trim unnecessary work that we've been doing, because you'd realize that we would have 20 people on site. But if you ask yourselves, what are they doing? Maybe they'll be doing nothing. So it helps us to trim even our team to focus more on the low-hanging fruits. And we managed to do that during the COVID era. But also, it also awakened us in terms of making sure that our health and safety policy is being implemented properly. Because as we speak right now, I think all of us, we know that you cannot enter into an office without a mask. You cannot enter into an office without washing your hands or sanitize your hands. Those are some of the things that COVID has actually helped us. It also helped us to be disciplined because it's part of discipline that we were lacking as an organization. So it has COVID came with its negative and positive. So what is important is also to look at the positive.
Okay. No,
Or
you know, and
that,
I.
but what
Are you okay there, Ronnie?
I'm sure it's not COVID. No, I'm
we
okay.
might
Thank you very much.
we might distance ourselves from you even on Zoom.
I'm sure you are putting on your face mask.
Yeah. No, I'm alone at the moment. Okay. No, I certainly know. Well done. You know, you've obviously survived, which is important, and great to hear that you know, the team is on board. COVID, you know, not only has it disturbed business, but it's a scary thing, you know, that can have different implications for different individuals. So yes, congratulations to the team. So what is in the horizon for Zimbabwe Sunshine Group? You know, you've touched quite a number. You know, you presented us the initiatives with the transfer station and sorting stations that are coming up. But what's the ultimate big picture for Zimbabwe Sunshine Group?
Obviously, the one of the bigger picture is global. We are thinking global, although even though we are acting at local level, but we are thinking global. By that, I mean that we have some initiatives that we intend to do across Africa, especially on waste management. And we believe that our enterprise can be the next enterprise like the Econet of today, the Bill Gates businesses of today. And we also think that even other entities that are in farming, that are in solar, uh, that in waste management can also take advantage of the global village that is now there to also think not only about Zimbabwe, but also think about other countries. Because if you look at the financial fiscus of Zimbabwe, sometimes might not be very good for business in Zimbabwe at that time. But we know that in years to come, things will be okay. But in other countries, for instance, like Eswatini, their financial situation is okay. So if you've got a business that is running in that country, good revenue stream that can sustain. That's one. Then they ask us to also strengthen our and get low-hanging fruits, especially if you look at the climate change issues. And there's some money that Zimbabwe got for climate change. So what we are doing is to try to see with our business how best we can also get part of that money. Then we have also money that is in different banks. You talk of your African development banks. You talk of even your local banks, the likes of Bank ABC, where they would. So those are some of the things that we are trying to do and try to come up with a business plans and that will actually sell to these financial institutions. Then obviously at the end of the day, we want the environment to be as conducive as possible to all humans and animals as it can be. Yeah.
Mm. Big things ahead. We look forward to seeing that journey unfold. You've done the hard yards, starting the enterprise ATSG to
Mm,
get this far. So I'm sure what's ahead won't be as difficult a mountain. It will be a smaller mountain. So no, Ronnie, thank
yeah.
you. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Yeah, sorry.
No, okay,
I
no,
didn't
it's
hear that bit.
Yep. No, I was saying that you obviously have an exciting journey ahead of you, having come from, from the ground up. I'm sure it's been a long journey that required a lot of perseverance and endurance. So what's to come is a smaller mountain. The road that's been walked was tougher. So good for you. And thank you for shedding light into the sector. And as we come towards the end of the program, what advice would you have for other entrepreneurs who not only are in your sector, but we've got a lot of great ideas that are taking place locally, let it be in agriculture or in technology. What advice would you give the entrepreneurs?
There is no time to sleep, guys. We need to work. We need to work. We need to work. We need to research. We need to be innovative. So those are my advice. If you do those things, you are guaranteed of a successful business at the end of the day. Thank you.
No, excellent. Thank you for that. Now, any parting remarks?
So thank you very much for the opportunity to share our journey. And what I just want to say is that this journey that we traveled, we are not all supposed to travel the same journey, but others, the bigger part, some of us, we have walked that route. So some of you now, you can take the shorter way to success. So what I'm just encouraging other entrepreneurs is that it's high time that you take what you're doing very seriously, and also teamwork is very relation, but you're working with others and make sure that your enterprise grow and become one of the biggest. Like Fungai always say, dream big, because when you dream big, even if it doesn't come out the way you want, but the position where you will be, it will be big. So let's dream big and act big. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ronnie. So we need to work, do a lot of research, and we need to dream big. No, thank you so much, Ronnie, for your time. Really appreciate. I know you're a busy guy, so taking time out to come and share, your insights into the sector, and most importantly, freely sharing knowledge for others. We really appreciate that. And I'm sure we're going to have you again. On the program. So thank you for all those that attended. We'll definitely be sharing the knowledge here with Ronnie and the Zimbabwe Sunshine Group that will share on YouTube and other platforms. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Ronnie. I would also like to thank the ILO, the implementer of the Green Enterprise program, and the Embassy of Sweden that has been the sponsor. So without them, we wouldn't be here together. So thank you so much, and congratulations to you all that are surviving and staying in the game. And yes, thank you so much. So Ronnie, once again, thank you so much for coming through.